ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। We are going to begin from 49th shloka. So we will just chant 48th shloka. ज्ञाता यत्नोऽपि तद्वज्ञः कर्ता भ्रामकवद् भवेत् स्वरूपेण स्वयं आत्मा ज्ञेयो ज्ञेयोऽथवा ततः। It is established so far that Atma is not Jnata, really speaking, and in the same way Atma is also not Karta. Similarly, Atma is not Ajnata, it is not unknown, and it is not Akarta, as in due to the absence of activities of all the instruments. It is not that kind of Akarta. Atma is neither Jnaya nor Ajnaya, neither known nor unknown, neither known as an object nor unknown as an object. In this way, Atma should be known. So the topic that is going on is about Atma Jnana Swarupam. What is the nature of Atma Jnanam? Earlier, up to shloka 37, the nature of Atma was revealed. Atma Rupam, Atma Swarupam was revealed up to shloka 37. And then it was said how this Atma should be known. So then from 38th shloka, Atma Jnana Swarupam, what is the nature of the self-knowledge, that was pointed out. So it is in this process where it is said Atma should be known not as an object, not as a knower, not as a doer. It is not unknown also. And in this, now, pramanam is pointed out. What is the pramanam for this nature of Atma? So that is said, vidita viditabhyam tad anyadeveti shasanat bandhamokshadayo bhavas tadvadatmani kalpitaha. Vidita viditabhyam tadanyadeveti shasanat. Tat vidita viditabhyam anyat eva. Tat Atma, Tad Brahma. It is anyat, different from vidita and avidita. Vidita means known, avidita means unknown. It is different from known and unknown. Iti shasanat. Such is the scriptural teaching. Shasanat here means such is the scriptural teaching. and that is Kenopanishad teaching. That is first line. Bandha mokshadayo bhavaha tadvad atmani kalpitaha. Tadvat, in the same way, bondage and liberation are also kalpita, are also superimposed in Atma, in one's own self. So, this is the meaning of the shloka. Relatively easy shloka. Vidita Viditabhyam. So, in Kenopanishad, there is a student who goes to the teacher and asks the question that what is that because of which the speech, the mind, the eyes, ears, prana, they all function. So the teacher responds that it is the speech of the speech, eye of the eye, mind of the mind, prana of the prana, ear of the ear, in this way. Shrotrasya shrotram, manaso manoyat, vacho vacham, sau pranasya pranaha, chakshushas chakshuhu. This is Atma. The one who understands this Atma as Brahma, infinite, free from all these equipments, yet because of which all equipments function, then atimuchya dhiraha pretyasmal lokad amrita bhavanti. Then dhiraha, the wise people, atimuchya, getting released from all this, asmal lokat pretya, having departed from here, amritaha bhavanti, they become immortal. So in this way, Atma Tattva is revealed and Atma Jnana Phalam is also given of immortality. And then teacher says that it is actually beyond all sense organs. It is not the object of knowledge of speech, mind, and any sense organ. Anya deva tad viditad atho aviditat adhi. In this way, the teaching is given. What is the nature of Atma? Anya deva tad viditat. Tat Atma viditat anya. It is different from known. Aviditat adhi. Atho aviditat adhi. And also it is beyond the unknown. By the word known, all effects are included. And by the word unknown, the cause is covered. So Vidita means Sthula Prapancha and Sukshma Prapancha, because that can become known. When we say known means either it is known to someone at some time, in present, in past, or in future. Everything is known then. It is not necessary that only I have to know everything. Any jiva at any point in time, if it can know anything, then it comes in the category of known. So if some devata is there and that devata can know some object in his loka, then that object is known. It comes in the category of known. And if a leaf is there somewhere in the rainforest in some continent, and a bird knows that leaf, it is known. So all of that will come under known category. If somebody can know it at some point in time through some instruments anywhere. So sthula and sukshma prapancha. And that which is unknown is the karana prapancha, avyakta, maya. So when it is said Atma is different from known and beyond unknown, means it is different from Karya and Karana. It is Karya, Karana, Vilakshana. Or in another language, we can say Karya is in the form of the Prathama Pada and Dvitiya Pada, the first and second quarter of Atma. And Karana Prapancha is Tritiya Pada. So, Karya Karana Vilakshana would become different from the three padas. That is Chaturtham, Turiya. So it is neither Antaprajna nor Bahishprajna nor Ubhayata Prajna as it is given in Mandukya Upanishad. So in this way, it is different from known and unknown. It is not Karya, not Karana. It is not Sthula Sukshma Karana. It is not Prathama, Dvitiya or Tritiya Pada. Means it does not come under Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. It doesn't have any of these avastha. That is Brahma. In this way, Shrutis have revealed Brahma. In this way, it should be known, and this is the Pramanam. So, Pramanam is also pointed out. And it is said, just as Jnatritva, Kartritva, Bhoktritva, Drashtritva, Shrotritva, Mantritva means the knowership, doership, enjoyership, and also the ideas of hearer, smeller, thinker, taster, toucher, etc. All of these are superimposed in Atma. In the same way, bondage and liberation are also superimposed in Atma. It is also due to ignorance. And because of that alone, we get the idea, we get the notion that I am finite, I am sukhi, I am dukhi. All these are erroneous notions. Really speaking, Atma is beyond bondage and liberation. And for that, another example is given in the next shloka, that how bondage and liberation are also superimposed in Atma. Naho in the next shloka, that how bondage and liberation are also superimposed in Atma. Nahoratre yatha surye prabharupa visheshatah bodharupa visheshanna bodha bodhau tathatmani. Yatha प्रभारूपा विशेषतः सूर्ये न अहोरात्रे, यथा जस्ट एज प्रभारूप अविशेषतः सूर्य is not different from illumination. It is pure illumination only. It is only brilliance, light. प्रभारूप अविशेषतः सूर्ये न अहोरात्रे. In the sun there are no day and night. अहश्च रात्रि च इति अहोरात्रे, अहश्च रात्रं च इति अहोरात्रे, न अहोरात्रे. So there where there is no day and there is no night. In sun. From earth we can see day and night ideas. That we are today, right now there is daytime, then later it will become night time. But in sun, because there is only light, so the sun has never seen darkness. So then where is the concept of night in the sun? So it is not there. Prabharupa avisheshataha. So that is the Panchami. Hetvartha Panchami. Prabharupa visheshatvat. It being not different from illumination, there are no day and night in the sun. Tatha, in the same way, Atmani, in Atma, Bodha Rupa Avisheshat. Atma, which is Bodha Rupa, of the nature of consciousness, Jnana Swarupa, na Bodha Bodhau. What a contradiction in the shloka itself. See, Bodha Rupa Avisheshat na Bodha Bodhau. Na Bodha Bodhau means because it is Jnana Swarupa, there is no Jnanam and Ajnanam in Atma. Means there is no relative knowledge and relative ignorance in Atma, because Atma is knowledge itself, and therefore there is no scope for bondage and liberation. How? What is bondage? Bondage is nothing but that which is caused due to ignorance. Ignorance is the cause of whose? That is called bondage. Abodha nibandhanaha. Nibandhanaha means karanam. Yasya. Saha abodha nibandhanaha bandhaha. Bondage is nothing but having ignorance as its cause. And what is moksha? Moksha has knowledge as its cause. Straightforward. Moksha has knowledge as its cause. So if there is no knowledge or ignorance in Atma, therefore there is no bondage or liberation also. Because there is no ignorance, therefore there is no bondage. Because there is no knowledge, therefore there is no liberation. Or in other words, differently if you want to see, in one non-dual entity, what can cause bondage and what can give liberation? Because Atma is absolute reality, Paramartha Satyam, and everything else is only relative reality. So absolute reality cannot get affected by relative reality, just like the rope cannot get affected by the snake or the stream of water or the branch of a tree or the garland flower which are superimposed on that rope. They all are only illusory appearances. So nothing can really cause any bondage to Atma because all those are apparently real, not real. And therefore, since there is no bondage, therefore there is no need of liberation. So that is pointed out in 50th sloka. With this, the topic that had started from 38th shloka, that topic is concluded in 50. So the topic that had started was, what is the nature of self-knowledge? Earlier topic was, what is the nature of self, Atma? Then, what is the nature of self-knowledge? So both topics are covered. Now in a question may come, if in Atma there is no bondage, there is no liberation, is there any pramanam? We say yes. There is one quotation from Amrit Bindu Upanishad. Na nirodho na chotpattihi na chotpattir na baddho na cha sadhakah na mumukshur na vai muktaha ityesha paramarthata. There is nobody who is bound, there is nobody who is a seeker, there is no seeker of liberation, and also there is no liberated person. This is the absolute teaching. So Upanishadic quotation is also there to justify this. Then the question can be, then why are we studying Vedanta if there is no bondage? If I am not bound, why should I study anything, or why should I do any spiritual practices? So the teacher says that yes, it is true that you are not bound. Study of scriptures is to tell me that I am not bound, number one. I don't have bondage. And the more important thing is why I don't have bondage. Because I am not ahankara. Because I am not pramata. Because I am not the five sheets, panchakosha. Because I am not the three shariras, the three bodies. Because I am not undergoing the three states of experiences of waking, dream and deep sleep. All this is not me. This I will know through Shastra, through Guru Mukha. From the teacher, I will know this teaching through scriptures. For this, I have to study. And then who am I? I am Atma. What is the nature of that Atma? For that, I have to study Shastra. That I am Nitya Shuddha, Nitya Buddha, Nitya Mukta, Satya Swabhava, Karya Karana Vilakshana, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, Anandam Brahma. For this I have to study Shastra. Shastra study is not for gaining liberation, which is not already attained. Shastra study is to know that I will not get liberation in future. Shastra study is to know that I will not get liberation in future. Shastra study reveals that I am already liberated as Atma. Now, if I continue to identify with Anatma, with the Panchakosha, with the Shariratraya, or with my family, with my property, with my status, with my position, with all the roles that I play, if I identify and I become dukhi, then Shastra says you have to leave all this. If you cannot remain unattached and unassociated with all these, then you have to let go of all anatma prapancha outside of the panchakosha first. That is called sannyasa, renunciation. So if these external things you are getting attached to, or if you are getting bothered by them, you have to leave them. Then these panchakoshas, we can't leave them because wherever we go, they will come. So then towards that, I should develop more and more vairagya, dispassion. This is the role of Shastra. This is what scriptures will tell me. And if I am not prepared, Shastra also will tell me that you need enough qualifications, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. If I don't have that qualifications, then how to attain that qualification? That also scripture will tell me. Scripture will also guide me on this path in the form of do more karma yoga and upasana for purification of mind and concentration of mind. And then after study of scriptures also, if mind is restless, do dhyana sadhana, as it is pointed out in 6th chapter of Gita and in Kaivalya Upanishad, Shweta Shotara Upanishad, etc. So the sadhana is with all these things together. That is the role of scriptures. So we cannot avoid them. Scriptures are the means of knowledge when it comes to the nature of Atma, the nature of sadhana, and the nature of liberation that I have already attained that. Okay, so with this, the Atma Jnana Swarupam, the nature of self-knowledge, is also pointed out. And the nature of moksha, that is considered, moksha is nothing but avidya nivritti, elimination of ignorance, elimination of wrong ideas about myself is liberation. Now, what is the result of this self-knowledge? Because I have put forth so much effort to gain all this self-knowledge, what is the result of this self-knowledge? That also I would want to know. So, that is said now. यथोक्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद हानोपादानवर्जितं यथोक्तेन विधानेन ससत्यं नैव जायते. यथोक्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद, यहाँ Veda Janati, the one who knows Yathoktam Brahma, Brahma which is pointed out in this way. What is the nature of that Brahma? Hanopadana Varjitam, that which is devoid of Hana and Upadana. Hana means to give up, Upadana means to take up. Hana Upadana Varjitam. Neither I can give up something, neither I can give up Atma, nor I can take up Atma. So I have to know Atma of this nature. Yatha Uktam, as it is pointed out here. So all other pointers which are given, like we just now saw, not known or unknown, neither Jnata nor Jnaya, not Karta, Akarta, Bhokta, Bhokta. None of these pairs of opposites exist in Atma. And I can give up only that which is different from myself. I can take up only that which is different from myself. So by saying Hano Padana Varjitam means it is myself. In this way I have to know Brahma. The one who knows Brahma as his own self, as pointed out here, then Yathoktena Vidhanena, in this way when it is known, this Vidhanena means, I will elaborate that, in this method, you can just understand, in this method when it is understood, Saha Naiva Jayate, then he is not born. Naiva Jayate, he is not born. So in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Nasa bhuyo vijayate, in 13th chapter of Gita, that such an individual, he is not born again. And in Chandogya Upanishad, in 8th chapter it is said, Nacha punaravartate, nacha punaravartate. He does not come back again. He does not have rebirth. So, there is no coming back to this transmigration. And the question would be, how do you say that? So, obviously we have already given Shruti Smriti quotation. Acharya here, Bhagavan Bhashyakara, he says, Satyam, this is the truth. Means he gives his own verdict also that this is the truth. So Upanishad has also said, Shruti, Smriti, it is given in Gita also, Bhagavan has said, and it is Vidvad Anubhava. It is the experience of wise people. Satyam. Now what is this Yathoktena Vidhanena? Yathokta Vidhanam means I have to understand Tattvam Asi Mahavakya properly. Knowing Vedanta means knowing Tattvamasi Mahavakya properly. And what is meant by that is that I understand the Tvam Padartha and Tat Padartha, their Vachyartha and their Lakshyartha. So, knowing Tattvamasi means knowing each pada, padartha, then vakyartha. And vakyartha means I will also understand that the tvam pada vachyartha is the कर्ता भोक्ता संसारी जीव, and तत्पद वाच्यार्थ is सर्वज्ञ, सर्वशक्ति, सर्वव्यापी ईश्वर. And therefore, when you put the two together, because of the asi, aikyam, the two vachyarthas will not be equal. Therefore, I have to do lakshana. And lakshana means that when I think of myself, I should understand what is the implied meaning of the word I. And what is the implied meaning of the word God or Bhagavan. So, implied meaning of both of these will reveal my true nature. Their oneness is possible of Tat and Tvam only in the implied meaning, not in the direct meaning, not in Vachyartha. So this I should understand. This is called Yathoktena Vidhanena. So there is a method. Vedanta is not a random process, or you say I will sit under a tree and do thinking. When it is said Athato Brahma Jignasa, thereafter, therefore, desire to know Brahma. The desire to know Brahma, Brahma Jignasa, means Brahma Vichara. You should conduct inquiry into Brahma. And inquiry into Brahma doesn't mean that I go on traveling from here to there and sit under some trees or in some mountains or at the bank of holy river Gangaji and feel that I am so blessed. That is not enough. You have to understand Tattvamasi Mahavakya. This is Brahma Jignasa. So, conducting enquiry means you have to do more Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. And that's why in Brahma Sutra, there is lot of opportunity and scope giver for Mananam. Upanishads, study of Upanishads is Shravanam. Study of Brahma Sutra is Mananam. And if somebody says, I want more Mananam, then you take up such texts which are doing more of this enquiry, reflection. And if somebody says, I want more Shravanam, then you take more Prakarana Granthas also for Shravanam. So there are varieties. And in this way, I have to know Brahma as myself. Then I will know I don't have this birth. I am birthless. Not worthless, birthless. And therefore, I will not have next birth also, because if there is no this birth, then there is no next birth. If I have this birth, I will have next birth also. So this is the Phalashruti. No Punarjanma, because no this Janma also. Now somebody says, oh, this, your Vedanta Prakriya is very difficult, very tedious. And you are always saying study, reflect. I don't have that much stamina to study. I want to do other things. Can you recommend any other means by which I can attain liberation? So the teacher says, yes, there could be other means to attain liberation if you could roll up the sky and put it under your arm, like how you could roll up the asanam, sitting asanam. Then you can attain liberation without attaining self-knowledge, without gaining self-knowledge. In other words, there is no other method. But then I am not too keen on this kind of study, or it is not very interesting. What should I do? So it is said we should make it interesting for ourselves. In other words, I should increase my qualifications. There is no other method. And there is no point in blaming either scriptures or the teacher that scriptures are not making it interesting, or teacher is not making it interesting. I should remember and understand I am not a qualified student. I don't have enough vairagya. So I must increase my qualification, and for that karma yoga is there, upasana yoga is there, ashtanga yoga is there. All of them will give me a method to prepare my qualifications. Now it is said in the next shloka that other than knowledge there is no other method. Janma mrityu pravaheshu patito naiva shaknuyat ita uddhartum atmanam jnanadanyena kenachit. जन्म मृत्यु प्रवाहेषु पतितो आत्मानं उद्धर्तुम इतः उद्धर्तुम नैव शक्नुयात्. If somebody has fallen in the janma mrityu pravaha, in this continuous flow of birth death, janma mrityu pravaheshu patitaha, someone who has fallen, itaha, from this, ebhyaha, janma mrityu pravahebhya, from this continuous flow of birth and death, means you have to understand janma mrityu, jara, vyadhi, all of them are there, old age, disease. Itaha atmanam uddhartum, uplifting atma from this, jnanad anyena, other than knowledge, jnanad anyena, kenachit naiva shaknuyat, by anybody it is not possible to uplift from here. So naiva shaknuyat, that is said in this shloka. In other words, knowledge alone is the means to liberation. More of this we will see in the next session, and we will conclude the teaching, and I will also give a brief summary of the entire teaching. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om.